Donnie, do you want to introduce somebody
Sure
for us?
will. This is Cadet First Lieutenant Stevens from Habersham Central High School, JROTC. Come on up here. For those of you that don't know, I'm one of the assistant principals at Habersham Central High School, and I get the pleasure of being around great young people like Noah Stevens every single day. And he's going to lead our pledge for us. So, please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
First thing is approval of the agenda. Is there anything y'all would like to add, change, delete, modify?
On item 11, change that consideration of adopting federal holidays.
Thank you, sir. Anything else? All right.
We need to,
Entertain a motion to
we need to
approve.
add historical district,
we
don't we?
struck it.
We struck it, okay, never mind then.
Thank you.
I thought there was a first reading for something.
We said it's got to be residency.
Okay, sorry.
I want to make a motion that we accept the agenda as modified.
Thank you, sir. A second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Very good. All right. Appearance and public comment? All right. Okay. Give everybody a chance to say one. Approval of the minutes from September 27th, March 29th, and April 4th. Tab 8.
Tab 9. I don't think the tabs are officially part of the minutes.
No, they're not. Thomas, after this, after these minutes come out, will you make the changes that you requested in your email?
The areas will not change.
Sir?
The areas will not change. Let me give you that.
meeting starting on Tuesday, April the 4th, page 2. Bottom of page number C, Carol have 1R.
Okay.
Thomas, I'm trying to remember your other one.
He asked about me possibly mixing Harris and the
Oh, yeah,
Georgia
yeah,
Real
yeah.
Estate Fund, but we never discussed it really further. There was two Georgia
Yeah,
Real
yeah.
Estates and one Mark.
That was the Harris parcel, right before the question mark, it says Georgia Real Estate Fund.
Okay, now I see where I got you.
So we got 2 modifications. Anything else?
Mark and Jennifer.
Is that a motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of, let's see, September 27th and March 29th as is, and the changes that we just discussed for April the 4th.
Thank you, sir. A second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Mr. All those in favor? Very good. All right. Next is consideration of the, no-cost letter for the DOT. I guess this is something that we have to vote on, saying that we move the water lines and not require the DOT to move our water line for us. And then we'll incur the cost to locate those lines, unfortunately. We entertain a motion to give the city manager the authority to sign this letter.
I'll make a motion that we give Mark the discretion to sign that letter.
Thank you, sir. A second?
Second.
Thank you, sir. All those in favor? Very good.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, next is the Habersham Partnership for Growth, the EDC invoice of $5,000 to continue our subscription with them for our next year. Do we have any discussion? Or we'll entertain a motion to continue on?
As we discussed, during the work session, it's a beneficial partnership between us and, well, for us, for the services that they do. Not only does it benefit us, for economic development within the city, but it benefits us because of all the water lines we have throughout the county.
Yes, sir.
So I'll make a motion to approve the expenditure for the payment to continue with the Habersham Partnership.
Thank you, sir. A second for that?
Second.
Thank you, sir. All those in favor to continue on with this partnership? Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, next is the Tallulah Falls water rate increase. Unfortunately, Tacoa's going up on our water rates, and we're having to raise our water rate to Tallulah Falls. This is a pass-through to include the cost of Tallulah Falls and our very minimal handling that water. This rate will go up on July 1st, 2023. Do we have any further discussion of going up on this water rate to cover our cost? If not, we'll entertain a motion to go up on their water rate on July 1st.
Make a motion to increase the water rate for Blue Falls effective July 1st.
Thank you, sir. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, sir. All those in favor?
Aye.
Consideration of a weapon upgrade for Chief Crockham. This weapon upgrade will replace all of your handguns and backup guns.
Yes,
And those funds will be coming from where?
direct seizure funds.
Direct seizure funds. Through this authorization, we need to authorize you to purchase those guns, and then we will authorize the surplus, the old guns at a later date.
Yes, if we could purchase them now, then once we get those new weapons in, there's a 2 or 3 day transition because of the modular sites.
Okay.
And then once we complete that, then we could surplus at a later date. So,
Very good. We'll entertain a motion to approve the purchase of the handguns using the seizure funds.
I'll make a motion that we purchase those handguns with that drug seizure fund.
So, and so,
we could do that.
Surplus later.
We could do that.
I didn't know.
I had to get Thomas a list of the serial numbers. Could do that.
I second that.
Thank you, sir. All those in favor? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next is, the opioid fund. As we heard during a work session, Chief Knight is looking to use some of that opioid fund to purchase 2 turnout gear sets. And if it's the council's pleasure, we will go ahead and vote to approve that turnout gear. We'll entertain a motion to approve the purchase of the turnout gear for the fire department using the opioid funds.
I'd like to make that motion.
Thank you, sir. A second?
Second.
I'll second.
Andrew. He's got a delay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Consideration of adopting the federal holidays. This is to make sure that we're keeping on the same schedule as the federal holidays by adding Juneteenth and having a few of our own, which is, for the Friday before Thanksgiving and then Good Friday, right?
Christmas Eve,
Yes.
there's 3.
Okay, very good. We entertain a motion for those changes.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, sir. A second? Thank you, sir. All those in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Next is, consideration of amendments to the land use. Thomas, do you wanna?
Yeah. In your packets is an ordinance that, makes changes to, a number of provisions in your land use ordinance to bring them into compliance with state law. The biggest, most substantial changes are that, after these adoptions or after these amendments are made, what were formerly known as conditional uses will be known as special uses. And there are additional, notice and hearing requirements, for variances and for other, administrative type of appeals. And there's some changes in the timeframes for such notices. This is an ordinance that requires 2 reads, plus we will have to have a public hearing, advertised public hearing at next month's meeting, before adopting this. So this will be just a, motion to waive the first reading, amendments to the land use ordinance.
So you need a motion to waive the first reading? Okay. Council?
Make a motion to waive the first reading of the land use amendments.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Very good.
Aye.
Alright, next is consideration of the bank account signers. This would add, by being specific, what we're doing when we're looking for this motion. I think you have some notes on that.
Yep. Speedy delivery.
Alright, very good. We'll entertain a motion for that.
Make a motion to add Mark Musselwhite as a signer on accounts ending in 0348, 7898, 9210, 9202, 9244, 9194, 9236, 9269, 9228, Is that it?
That's all of our UCB accounts, so if we want to add them to the opioid, we'll have to do that separately. I don't know the ending account number on it.
Well, let's do this one first.
Okay. That's
Is that a
all,
motion?
that's all
It's a
of them.
motion.
All right, a second?
Second.
Thank you, sir. All those in favor, add the city manager to that position. Through that, do we need another motion to add Megan as the, what is it called?
Administrator.
We need to, we gotta back up and add them to the opioid.
Okay. Yes, sir,
Yeah,
please.
if we want that as opioid.
Make a motion to add Mark Musselwhite as a signer for the opioid
Raven County,
seizure account
Raven County Bank.
at Raven County Bank.
All right, thank you for that motion. Second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Very good. One more.
Make a motion, so what exactly are we doing this for, Megan?
Adding me as an administrator for the UCB accounts.
An administrator has what function with these accounts?
You can create online access, and you're supposed to be able to change out signers. It's supposed to help with,
So it's
The
something
signing.
We've had in the
Right.
past, we've had, nobody on an account. We've had to go through with that. Megan's had to work with dealing with getting people off and.
and some people are dormant, like some of our accounts go dormant, and then we can't add them back. And she said if we had an administrator, that person could definitely do that.
Well, I'll make a motion to, name Megan Chastain as the administrator for these accounts. I need the specific accounts or is it all accounts? Or you see?
You could just say UCB accounts, and I think that'll cover it.
Very good. A second?
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next, manager report and review of financials. Mark, you want to pick that up?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, thank you. I'd like to start off by saying thank you, Mayor and Council, for allowing me to be here. And to the citizens of Demorest, I appreciate your friendship, your support, and, I will work very hard for you 4, 5, counting Andrew. And, it will always give you 150% of my best effort every day. And, it's been a pleasure. And, our new city hall is such a wonderful place. And it just grows with the excitement. And I can feel the difference in a lot of the employees and so forth. And, I'm just glad to be here, excited to be here, and looking forward to doing many great things with us as a team and a partnership with here and within the city. And so I appreciate y'all. With that being said, I wanted to congratulate the city of Demorest for our first time participating in the Georgia Cities Week. We had a great success. A week ago Monday, we started off our Georgia Cities Week with our grand opening of City Hall. I would venture to say probably passing through was probably 150 people. We had a great turnout there at the ribbon cutting. Appreciate the chamber and their ambassadors coming to join that. Council being there, the media, and all our guests and residents. So it was a big success with that. On Tuesday, with Mr. Bennett's help, we went to Mount Ed High School. And we went there that evening with Chief Crockett, Chief Knight, and Brian sent some of his best guys of the water department. And we were set up with fire truck, police car, backhoe, and Bobcat. And our employees told these young people about jobs and things they could do within Habersham, within the city limits of Demorest for when they finished their high school. And they got to learn about some hourly wages, what they could do, what kind of jobs they could do. I mean, they were really intense listening. And some of the counselors even said, Mark, when can we do this again? They were so excited about it. And I could just see some enjoyment. Some of the kids just took the time just not to be in class. And there was this one young lady, I asked the group, who could operate this heavy equipment? And this one young lady said she could operate the Bobcat. And I told her I needed to shake her daddy's hand, because he's done a fine job teaching that young lady how to operate that. I mean, she's the only one, there's only 3 other boys that could do it, but she says she can do it and make a job out of it. And, but I appreciate all of you guys that showed up with that. Thursday was my most exciting day, which would have been our touch and truck program, because we had a large crowd coming. But that rain, I'd have to say the weatherman's wrong a lot. He had it dead all that day. About the time we were supposed to be setting up and starting, so it worked out. We'll plan that again for another day. And then on Saturday, another exciting time, and thanks to Mr. Bennett, but we had our Saturday cleanup. We had the Habersham Central varsity boys soccer team and coaches meet Chief and Megan to do a cleanup on Demorest Mount Airy Highway. And so, they came at 10 o'clock. These young boys gave up their Saturday morning sleep-ins or whatever they may have been doing, and they actually had a great time doing it. And we fed them Chick-fil-A afterwards, and I know in thanking the coach, he told me that they had quite an eye-opening experience about the trash and stuff they picked up on the side of the road. And I know, Donnie, you've got a comment of what they told you at school.
They told me, they said, you can tell there's a college near there from that trash was picking up. I was like, come on, boys, it's just a busy road. But that was all done. Coach Wallace does a thing called Beyond the 90, and a soccer game, as I'm sure most of y'all know, in high school is 90 minutes. And so it's building character off the field. And I knew that he did that. That's why I went to him, to that group, and said, hey, would you like to participate? And they jumped all over it. It was a great partnership.
I appreciate that.
Make sure you give them our gratitude for doing that.
Definitely.
Much appreciated for them to take time out to do that for us.
Yes, 100% with that, John. We also had the painting of about 10 fire hydrants by Piedmont art class and professor and department head Santanu. And so we had taken pictures of those. You'll notice them right here, starting at the fire hydrant right above by the Chevron station, going down to Wisconsin, and I think there's 2 or 3 off Alabama on campus that they did there too. And they came up with their own. We bought them the paint, and just asked for the chief, for the firemen, not to be any dark colors, be something colorful, and so they're pretty colorful, and I appreciate them doing that. Also, we did a mayor for the day type. If I was mayor, what would I do? What would changes? We had that with the middle school, and they asked the 8th graders to write these essays. What was interesting is back from Gainesville days in doing this, they would handwrite them back then. And part of them was trying to read their handwriting to see what they said. Every one of these was so neatly typed and put together. Like, oh, okay, that makes it pretty easy to read it. And then at the Demorest Elementary School,
I think that was kind of sabotage, because it seemed like everyone I read wanted to give all our employees a raise.
right? And then the Demorest Elementary School, they did a art project, whether it was their house they wanted to draw, their city, or their school. And I probably had a stack about this thick of the mayor's and about the same with the art. I taped them all up, majority of them up on the walls inside. And I kind of ran out of wall space. And
Can y'all post a few of them on the Facebook page to share some of that?
yes, absolutely, with that. And so next year, I'm going to incorporate, being our first year, I didn't know what kind of response I would get back, but the teachers, the principals, they just really enjoyed the project. So next year, we'll pick out some favorites, and maybe even have a mayor for the day come up here and sit with the mayor, and have a part of this, and honor some of these students, because they really took great effort and excitement into this. So it was really a success with that. To go into part of my department, we'll go into the wastewater. Bottom line is the system is operating within our permits on our treatment facility, and our drinking water system is also operating within our permit limits. I've added this, y'all saw this by email. Hey Lancaster has achieved another certificate. And this is with his drinking water laboratory analyst, where he is able to do more of that since Tim Hall retired. Cade is doing the well testings and the different water testings. And this was another one that he'll get another raise off of this also for this other accomplishment. And his goal, in talking with him and Brian on Monday, his goal is to have this class 2 wastewater operator by February or March of 24. That's when he can take that class. Right now, he's a 3, and it's a tough class, tough achieving this, and he is on his schooling because he knows he gets a raise after every one of these. But it's also his own self-motivation as a young man of 23 to know what he's accomplishing every day at that sewer plant. And it is a great accomplishment. And he's hoping to be a daddy real soon, so that's why I didn't bring him in to have this, but just because they're waiting any day, pins and needles. So, but if y'all do see him, he is doing great things again at 23 years old. Going into the fire department report. This is something we talked about with making some changes in our agendas and so forth. The fire department we should be looking at April, but we're looking at March. And the chief, Crockham, he will have the same issue because today's the second day of the month. They haven't produced all his numbers yet. And so he's going to be now running the same schedule as fire.
Okay.
So I've got some info, but not all of the chief's info, so we won't really go into that.
Yeah, I think that's understandable. Being a month behind.
Right. So for the fire, the total number of calls were 82 calls, including 4 fires, 2 outside the city, 57 med calls, 15 outside the city, 2 hazardous calls, 6 service, and 1 of those being outside the city, 10 good intents, 3 false alarms, and 1 being outside the city. And this is always a good thing that Jonathan is to do. 195 hours of continuing training for the fire department. 195 hours. Jonathan also conducted a safety class for the Piedmont students. And you might see them driving around and testing the fire hydrant testings. They have started that process now too. So thank you very much for that. We'll get another 2 topics.
So we're gonna be skipping the police stuff
Yes.
until next month.
Yes.
And calling it.
Yeah, so next month we'll have March calls. Then we'll get back on schedule after that. To update y'all on the auditorium at City Hall. I'm presently working on the lights, the sound, and flooring. This is a very difficult task of these 3 items because we get 1 shot to do it right. And 1 or 2 bids kind of got me, and I'm kind of like squirming with them and so forth. Sound, I've got a range. It's $50,000 or $55,000 difference. And I'm trying to understand. I got another folks coming out today that came out today to give me my 3rd bid on that. And so it's just across the board with technology. How far close to cutting technology do we want to be? You know, a day, 3 days, a week out from that. But trying to make it easier for streaming. Some of the examples are there's 2 cameras in the facility, 1 behind council and 1 sitting there looking back this way. Megan would be our technology person, and they would have some preset locations of the camera to move ahead of time. So the preset where she would just hit button 1 that would take you here, button 3 here to give some different looks. Or on the lesser, I've got just a stationary streaming camera that sits back there and doesn't move. So it just always gets our face and necessarily the backside of some of the folks, and it may not be able to hit our presenter. Or
It's too good, people stop coming.
right, that too. So those are things, that's why we haven't seen anything like that pop up yet. And because I'm just getting a lot of technical information. It makes sense as I'm talking to them, but then when I go back to try to analyze it, I'm just trying to hit it to make sure it's done right.
Well, this is not just for city council meetings that we're
Correct.
using that gym. I mean, using that auditorium in the future, we could have businesses or whoever else wanting to be in that room and have access to that technology.
I've got a lighting expert coming hopefully Thursday, because our lighting in there now just shines straight down, and it's shadows. So that kinda has an effect, because in here, we don't see any shadows with this type of lighting compared to the lighting that we have there. And then flooring, so I've got 3 bids on that to show. And obviously, we'll do the flooring until everything else is finished. So y'all just have to bear with me as I try to present to y'all the best plan that can give as many bells and whistles as we may need.
Can we expect that next month?
Yes. Yes. The handbook process has started. I have contacted
What handbook is that?
our employee handbook to review it and to see where we are with that. There is an area of expertise in Carl Vinson Institute of Government at UGA, and I have spoken to the gentleman. We have started, sent him our employee handbook so he can start reading through it and look at some options, and then give us some options of how he suggests, because that's one, human resources is one of his expertise as his employment there, and kind of give me some options of how to look at that and work through that. Just for some clarification of the parade of July 4th. Are we doing the parade at 4 o'clock, or is it 11 or 12?
11.
And we're doing it a half a day or a full day? And I'm just hearing different folks think it's this way, and somebody else thinks it's that way. And we've started sending out applications for the parade and different things like this, and I just need us to confirm what we're doing.
Time and duration.
Yep, please.
Well, I was a huge proponent of 4 o'clock last year. I thought it was great. Gave everybody a chance with their family, especially our staff. I think as the years as I've spent in Demorest, I see the city staff wear out by 4 o'clock, and if their day starts a little bit before that, it seems to be a little bit easier.
I agree, we don't have the staff that the other cities around us have, so we're always been doing more with less.
And last year, I heard some folks complain about it being hotter. And last year I made a point and looked to see what the temperature was at 11 o'clock versus 4 o'clock, and it was 1 degree difference.
It's hot all day.
It is.
It's July 4th.
It's just hot.
I've ran the Peachtree Road race many times, it's hot at 7 o'clock.
So, 4 o'clock, 11 o'clock,
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
All right, that'll be it.
4 o'clock, how did that, so what time is the concert scheduled? Okay, well, that's, kinda goes together.
It absolutely does.
Yeah, speaking of the parade, I would really like to focus on like the kids' parade this year, and like
Okay.
getting some folks involved, decorate things, get them out there walking, decorating their golf carts, decorating their, we call those battery powered things.
Yep.
Power scooters.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever it is, let's get them in there.
I agree.
We'll make that.
The Haversham Central Band is.
That's what it is. So the way that it looks now, the Torch 5K would be at 8 a.m. Demorest Police Department will block the streets starting at 11:30. Vendors can set up at 12 o'clock. Parade will be at 4 p.m. Fly Betty Band will perform from 6:30 to 9 p.m. And then the fireworks beginning at dark/9:30, whichever time we choose to be moved around and so forth. All that sound agreeable with everybody? Awesome.
Sounds like time, I'd say a couple of things. Try to see if you can get us more food vendors than what we had last year.
Okay.
We had one food vendor in particular that was pretty popular, and it was, I mean, a lot of the complaints I got, it was hard to, go through the line, it was a long wait to get to that vendor. Also, traffic control around, where the, city hall is.
last year after the 4th of July, we talked about making all those streets one way to control traffic because it was nuts. And we talked about putting porta potties over there.
We'll need porta potties, and if the
Porta potty.
gym bathrooms are now functioning, we'll leave that open too. That'll be a great help.
Where did you say porta potties? Put them where?
In the
Somewhere around the outside of the building.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we had some last year, I think, back behind the building. But I don't know that anybody really,
I didn't see any.
you didn't see it. That might have been Halloween. We put them back behind
Yeah, I
City
think it was
Hall, Halloween.
Yeah.
But I don't know that anybody really knew they were back there when we put signs.
I think that was the two biggest complaints that I heard about was the lack of facilities to use the restroom and the traffic going around the school.
Yeah, the traffic is crazy.
It is what it is. We get them out of there, but we can't get them in there.
Yeah.
They just, wherever.
So, boy, I think we need no parking along Florida Street. It's too narrow.
We get that.
Who's gonna say something?
We did that on Oak too, but then they went ahead and parked there anyway, once we had the signs and stuff out.
Can't tell them all.
I can if you want me to.
What's your favorite area?
All right. Moving on to my last section here of the financials here. The background check deposits for this month of April. I'm sorry. March is $20,205, which is ahead of the annualized budget at this point. Fines and forfeitures were at $14,300. In SPOST, we received $26,865 revenue for this month, and that's pretty much about where we've been. We've got water sales of $379,000. We've got a water purchase cost from Baldwin to Toccoa at $91,476. We rebuilt the belt press sludge pump that we had worked on back in January at $20,516. Other various water and sewer repairs on top of that $20,000 is roughly another $21,000. And ACG did get the new camera system set up for the water department building that had gone down. Total operating revenue for the city is $555,000. Total expenses are $326,000, and a net income of $229,000 for the month.
I know that we're focused on our liquidity and unrestricted reserves.
Yes.
Right now, we're at 2.48 months. Where was that prior? Do y'all remember?
We've been in that, I will,
2.32.
it's right in there, but I will confirm that number and send that out.
Every month, we have that on there where we're.
You can show that.
Yeah, because we really need to focus on that growing.
Yeah. Yeah, because the liquidity number is important to everything that we do, maintaining that cash. That's all that I have.
Any more questions about our numbers or financials or anything? Any other further discussions as far as the financials? All right, no further discussions. We'll move on to the second appearance and public comments. Anybody have anything you want Fourth of July? Okay.
Where are they gonna be held, the fireworks?
Same place.
Don't have much of a choice to do that.
I would, speaking of fireworks, would y'all reach out to the fireworks folks and let them know that we got a new roof and make sure that we don't need to close it down?
I mean, we laugh about that, but didn't something happen to one of Piedmont's buildings when we were on council before?
Yeah, I think they had a membrane something that
Yeah.
melded, yeah.
I'll do that.
So don't watch the fireworks from any rooftops.
Or if you do, catch it. All right, next is consideration to move into executive session. We have a couple of topics, Thomas.
Personnel.
Real estate. Real estate. Very good. Entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion that we go into executive session for
Sir.
personnel and real estate.
Second. Second, thank you. All those in favor? Andrew, you coming with us?